Hi, I'm Dave DeWitt. The media calls me the Pope of Peppers because I've authored more than 30 books on chili peppers and spicy foods. I'm also the publisher of Fiery Foods and Barbecue magazine.
And I'm Gwyneth Doland. I'm the editor of the magazine, and I'm also the author of 4 books on Southwestern cooking. But before I started writing about food, I was a cook in restaurants here, and that's where I learned how to perfect my green chili cheeseburger.
You know, green chili cheeseburgers are a classic and extremely popular food in New Mexico. Millions of them sold by the restaurants here, but we make a better one, that's for sure.
There are 3 things that we do to make a better green chili cheeseburger. We cook it over charcoal, we grind the meat ourselves, and we roast the peppers ourselves. We'll show you how. Most fast food restaurants fry their burgers, but the best restaurant burgers are grilled. And the best burgers at home are cooked over a charcoal grill. What we're using here is lump charcoal, real pieces of wood, not briquettes.
No, because
We don't like briquettes. The lump charcoal burns hotter and faster, and for cooking burgers at home, you want a really hot grill. A hot grill, so hot you can only keep your hand over it for a couple of seconds, sears the outside of the burger while keeping the inside moist and juicy.
also, you can use the grill to roast your chilies before peeling them. Now, I'm poking a hole in these chilies so the steam will escape and the chilies don't explode in our face.
Now, these are New Mexico green chilies, which
Right.
you sometimes see called Anaheim peppers.
Right. Mexico grows more chili peppers than all the other states combined, and this is our specialty, the long green chilies that turn red in the late summer. They're incredibly delicious and probably the most popular food item grown in New Mexico.
Definitely. And now these aren't too hot. They're a little hotter than a poblano.
Right, but not as hot as jalapeno, for example.
No. You could use jalapenos if you wanted to, although that's not traditional. You could use poblanos if that's all you can find. But again, this is the chili that makes the New Mexico green chili cheeseburger.
And the reason we're roasting them and then peeling them is because these chilies have an extremely tough skin, which must be removed. And what the fire does is separates the skin from the meat of the chili. Also gives a lot of flavor to it, too.
So these chilies are just about blistered enough to take off. And we're going to transfer them from the grill into a bowl. And then we're going to put plastic wrap over the bowl and allow them to steam a little bit. And the steam will help the skins come off. So just as soon as they're cool enough to handle, then we'll peel the skins off. And when they're done, they'll look like this.
Okay, the peeling of the chilies is very simple. As you can see, the skin comes off really easily. But a word of warning, when you're handling chilies, you should always wear gloves.
Dave, you're not wearing gloves.
The rules do not apply to the Pope of Peppers.
Now we talked about 3 things that make the perfect green chili cheeseburger. The one is the charcoal, and we've covered that. Now we're going to talk about the meat. Meat makes a big difference. I ground this meat fresh this morning using my stand mixer and a meat grinder attachment, but you can also have your butcher do it for you at the grocery store. Just take him the piece of meat that you want and ask him to grind it coarse. And
We use chuck.
we use chuck because it has really good flavor and just the right amount of fat. I like between 15 and 20% fat, or 80 to 85% lean.
And besides, Chuck is a great butcher.
And fat equals flavor. That's why we want that amount of fat in this burger. Fat, salt, and pepper. I've just tossed this meat with a little salt and pepper, and now I'm going to make it into a little patty. Really gently squishing this together. You don't want to hammer it into a little hockey puck. You just want to bring the meat together and leave it so there are some air pockets. And now we put them on the grill.
That's smoking nicely.
We're going to cook these burgers for about 4 minutes on each side. Don't flip them over and over again. They only need to be flipped once. And the more you handle them, the more
Yeah, they fall apart.
They fall apart. So we're just going to leave them here and allow them to cook on the one side. How can you tell when the burgers are cooked?
Well, a lot of people use an instant read thermometer like this, and they just stick it in the meat and instantly tells them what the temperature is. If it's 145, it's medium rare. If you want it medium, it's 160. But I've been grilling since I was 8 years old, so I never use these things.
I can just tell by pressing it. That's not quite ready.
No, the
Too squishy.
thermometer said 130, so about another minute and a half.
Come on. So the burgers are almost done. And before we pull them off the grill, we're going to put the chili and cheese on to give the cheese a little time to melt. Now, Dave wanted to use some fancy cheddar cheese from England for this burger.
Or Stilton.
Or Stilton. But I said, that's not the way these are made. We use regular old Kraft American singles because it melts really well. And so you put the chili on, and then you lay the cheese over it, and the cheese melts perfectly. It glues the chili to the meat, and it glues the bun to the burger.
It adds heat and flavor.
It's perfect. Now we're garnishing our burgers. I like mine with a little mayonnaise on the bottom bun and lettuce and tomato. Got my green chili and cheese, and then I'm done.
Well, I put some ketchup on because I believe that ketchup goes with hamburgers and mustard goes with hot dogs. The two shall not mix. But now we're ready to try the best ones in the known universe, hopefully. Just can't beat it.
It's good.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh,
Drippy, too.
oh.